Welcome everyone to Culture in the Rough podcast. I'd like to thank L for sliding through for our first episode. We just gonna go right into it and play one of your first tracks on your first album, L, and let us know what kind of memories does that bring you back to. You feel me?
Yeah, that's good. The other day, God, that's old school, man.
Who produced this?
Napoleon produced this, and Goofy, my nigga
Goof.
Yeah, matter of fact, Goof. I just spoke with him recently a few days ago, man. I'm trying to reband everybody right now. I got a lot going on.
For real?
Yeah, I got a lot going on, man. And I spoke with him about approximately, to be specific, like 3 days ago, Rogue. I talked to him about rebanding up, and I wanted to create and build a live band behind me this time around. You know what I'm saying? To give the audience and the fans a bigger and a better, massive aspect of, you know, of what we doing, man. Not just behind the keyboard and the turntables. You know, we trying to take it to the extreme now. Like, for instance, Roots. You know, Roots had it going with the live band behind them, man. So I'm trying to take it back to that era, man. But you know,
that's what's up.
So
Goof produced that as well,
Goofy,
and Napoleon.
Goofy was part of production. Napoleon was part of the production. I think Mote from the West Side was part of the production. My nigga Mo, shout out nigga to my niggas from the West Side, Mario. You know, who else? I think just them three individuals right there.
They did the whole first Volcano album.
They did the whole Volcano first Lil L album. Yep. They put that down, man, and that was something big. Yeah, you took me way back, man. I wrote that song. Most of my songs I wrote from that album right there when I was in the California Youth Authority, locked down. You know, O.H. Close, Carl Holton, Preston, Ione. You know, I did a lot of time coming up.
That's YA, huh?
Yeah, that's YA. That's CYA. You know, Gladiator Academy, man. That's like a junior penitentiary before you turn 25, and then they send you off to, you know, upstate. Thank the Lord I never made it upstate though. You know.
What year did that album come out?
That
2000?
album came out in God, you know, I'm thinking
1990?
I think it was 2000 because my mama passed in 1999. So I think it was 2000. Yeah. I think it was like the end of 1999. They came out 2000. They came out, and shout out to Bove Mal from Shoreview, man. You know, he put me on, man. And Big Rich and Andrew and Napoleon as well. He was part ownership with, you know, with the productions and all that. So they had a lot of going on. But Bove Mal out there, man, one love, man. He put me on, and shout out to my nigga JT Junior Theo, man, for taking me off the streets out here. And he was like, come on, let's go out there to Shoreview, man. They got a lot of rappers out there, bro, but you know, you out here, stop bapping sales, get in your ride, nigga, and let's go. You know? I mean, it's time to get on the mic, man. So shout out to JT. Yes, just last week, 2 weeks ago at Richard's wedding, we had a little falling out, but we're back. I spoke to my nigga JT on the phone recently, man, and we squashed it. We good. You know, we been family. It's just a lot of niggas around us, you know, exploiting. And,
yeah,
you know,
they like to instigate, feel me?
But yeah, you know, it's good now, man. We back. We back at it, man.
I'm glad to hear that. Man, ever since I was young, all the Ulis would be like, man, that fool ain't Tongan. He ain't Tongan. he don't rap like a Tongan. You feel me? Did you get that a lot while growing up? Or did you have a distinct way of rapping? Because you don't sound Polynesian. You don't sound Tongan.
Yeah, no, actually, I got that up. A lot of my niggas out here, a lot of my friends out here, my Udi friends out here, didn't find out I was a specific islander, a Tongan nigga until like 10 years later. They was like, "Ew, blood, you ain't told me you was Tongan, bro. This whole time we thought you was like half black and half Indian or a light-skinned nigga out here, bro. Why you ain't never talk?" I'm like, y'all never asked me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've been out this the whole time. Even the Tongans too. Some of the Tongans never really knew that I was Tongan. They thought I was a nigga out here, a light-skinned nigga out here. You know, but
you full-blooded, right? You full.
Yeah, I'm pretty much full-blooded. I got a little British in me. That's where you get the light-skinned side in. But yeah, my dad's full-blooded Tongan. My mom's full-blooded Tongan. My dad was born in Tonga. My mom was born in Fiji, Suva. They met back here in the Bay Area, and here I am. You know.
Yeah. See, our parents came here for us to have a better future. Now, I mean,
Absolutely.
From the friendly islands to the capital of the crack epidemic.
That's right.
My parents, your parents, they really didn't know any better. Can you illustrate how it was growing up Tongan in East Palo Alto in the early 90s, late 80s?
It was crazy, man. Growing up out here in East Palo Alto, I'm going to include East Melo, too, because there wasn't too many Polynesians out here. There was a few Tongan and Samoan families out here. And back then, it was kind of racist, too. You had a lot of niggas, you know, I don't want to say African Americans. I want to say, you know, copper-colored people out here. I'm going to address it from the biblical scriptures. That's what we are, copper-colored people. About 8 shades of different types of brown. So I'm not going to say black or white. I'm going to say European, African, or copper-colored people from America. So, yeah, back then it was kind of racist. That the copper-colored people out here pretty much treated us like white folks out here. So we would always gather up together and have each other's back from East Melo to East Palo Alto. And we would hang out. We'd be in the Village. We'd be in the G. We'd be over the Ramp, O'Keefe, Manhattan. We'd be right here in the back of Terminal, Henderson, you know, Fleta. We was everywhere. And what we would do, we would roll together as a clique. And that's how tight we was. And those families from back in the days are still here today. That's you guys are second generation coming up, you know, but not knowing what actually happened back then. But growing up in the crack epidemic, yeah, it was all around us. I mean, we was poor. We were on Section 8, welfare, living, government housing. Back then, we didn't have EBT cards. We had food stamps. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like they said, the first of the month, we be ready for them things to come out there. Yeah, we would sacking up, rocking up, you know, bapping sales out here on the blacktop, man, you know, just to get a little something to eat, you know. I had like 2 shirts a week and 2 pants a week that I would switch on daily, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know, I was out there getting it, posted, and, you know, didn't want to, but that was pretty much the life out here. We shared and we experienced that poverty life within the Polynesian community that nobody ever really experienced or went through. You know, from especially East Palo Alto being the murder capital of America back in 1992, and that's a fact. It's you know, we it goes back from they charge it from per capita. You know, which we back then were like 24,000 was our population, bro. And you know, I lost a lot of niggas. I lost over 30 niggas since 1990. You know, they dead in their casket, and some of them is hung. You know, and I got shot as well. I got caught up I became a victim of the streets of my own being out here, and understood how it was. You got to charge this as the game. You know, pretty much charge it the game and move on. You know, and but yeah, it's a lot of niggas that passed away. That's why I feel that's what made me really step up to the plate and come out with this music to express how we feel, especially as a Tongan nigga out here. You know, growing up in East Palo Alto, in America, in California, in the San Francisco Bay, man, representing out here for the Golden State. You know, it's detrimental for me to really represent this shit, man.
I feel it. Did you, when growing up, did you have a culture clash with the hood and then our traditions being Tongan? You feel me? Did that clash into what you were thinking and what you was going through, or was it just the streets?
It was kind of both, you know. The streets was a different way of growing up out here in America, and then my Tongan tradition and my Tongan culture, my Tongan heritage, was kind of different when I was at home. Yeah. You know what I mean. But I didn't grow up speaking Tongan. My family always spoke to me in Tongan, but I grew up around so many. I grew up around a lot of people speaking English that I didn't really catch on to the language. You know, I'll speak it when I'm drunk, though. A nigga drunk, man, I'll be speaking like that. I'll be like, hey, what the hell? What's going on, man? That nigga practice talking on the unders and shit. Nah, alcohol kicking in. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's cool. But, I don't speak the lingo either.
But it's good, too. It's good. Yeah. I would let everybody know and encourage everybody to learn your language. Yeah. Do not forget about your ethics and your background. You got to keep that intact because that's who we are today, you know. and we're representing out here. But yeah, but I still
we gotta preserve our culture.
Absolutely, we gotta preserve it and reserve it for the next generation that's jumping off the porch. But yes, it's very important to remember and to always carry on our traditions, our heritage, and our culture, man, because nobody else is gonna do it. You got every other nationality out here in the world that's carrying on their culture, and we should do the same. You know, there's some things in our cultures that I don't abide by, and I think that we should change it up. And it's always good like that. Cultures always change for a good reason, a good positivity reason. Not because we don't like the kings from back then.
Right.
You know, they conquered us and they did this. We're not doing it for those specific reasons, changing up certain customs and stuff like that. Nah, we're doing it for the our economical situation at hand. You know, things like that. You know, and street awareness, things like that. You know. But don't forget about you got to keep your culture and your heritage and your traditions intact, man. That's most importantly, man.
Who influenced you? Who influenced you to start rapping?
Oh man, you know I gotta say it started locally out here in the town, man. My nigga Crack and Nine, you know, back in the days, Crack, he was from right there where we hung out on Buchanan and Clark Street, you know, and K9 was from the Village. Those is like the very first rappers that ever came out, you know what I'm saying? And they cassette tape came out, that shit was blue, you know, and that's what we was representing, Clark to the Village, you know, BC niggas, man. And they influenced me a lot. And another nigga out here, Chunk, you know, Chunk was doing this thing. Totally Insane, definitely Totally Insane, man. They put it down out here, man. Them niggas from the mid, we clashed a lot. You know, we still, even the youngsters today still clash a lot between the Clark Village and Midtown Funk, you know. But I'm out here to try to squash that shit. It's been a lot of niggas dying behind this shit since back then. And but yeah, we'll get on that topic a little bit later on another segment. But yeah, Chunk, Totally Insane, Crack and Nine, well, who else? That nigga C-Funk, God. Oh, can't forget about the nigga Shanti from the Gardens, from the G, you know. You
ever did something with Shanti?
No, I never did nothing with Shanti, but I was the first studio I ever went to record my first song called The Deep Side. That wasn't even out on the album yet, bro. That was just a hood, like a mixtape thing the nigga was doing, you know what I'm saying? But that was the first studio I was in, right there off of SNL. You know, shout out to all my SNL niggas in the G, man. You know, representing it, you know.
Yeah. I'm going to read you some of your lyrics. One of my favorite lyrics I really like from you. And I want you to unfold them for us, you know. Been on my own since the age of 12. Explored the street life, young and clocking melon as a 7th grader. Pushing rocks on Buchanan Clark Ave. Trying to pursue the finer things that I never had. But mama got suspicious. Want to know about my school time missing. Want to know about my cooking in the kitchen. My wardrobe flipping.
Oh, yeah, that's my mama's song, man. Yeah, that's basically, you just basically described the environment and the surrounding and the scenario and situation that I was in at the time. You know, growing up out here, like I said, it was real hard in poverty, man. The kids out here really didn't have nothing. So, like, you know, like everybody else said, we would look up to the ballers on the streets with the 3-time gold ones and the Cadillac Vogues with the drop top with the bone white interior. You know what I'm saying? No tents, just fish bowling, man, where you can see who's representing. You know, with the top down. You know, those were the guys that we looked up when we were young because they had all the fly girls, the fat jewelry on. You know what I'm saying? With the fat rope jewelries on, not the rope that we used to get hung with back in the days, but the 14 karat ropes, you know what I'm saying, that we rock nowadays, you know what I'm saying? So back then, that's pretty much the environment I grew up around in, man, and everybody was doing it from my associates to my peers to my family members, even to some of the teachers that I was going to school with. You know, they were pretty much some of my clientels. Back in the days, back in Ravenswood, when we had Ravenswood before it was called Cesar Chavez, it was Ravenswood, Green Oaks in the back. If you was a bad motherfucker, you had, you know what I'm saying? You had to head to the backside. But yeah, it was the crack epidemic was real huge back then, way before crank came in and ice came in and the ecstasy pills and the heroin and all that. You know, Well, let me take back. No. Heroin was way before the crack epidemic. China White was been here way before the crack epidemic, before Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross out there, Freeway Ricky Ross from South Central, Los Angeles, came out with that hardening up the cocaine from the soft to the hard, and profited. It was profitable off that, man. Just doing it like that. It was the poor man drug.
Yeah. At what age were you exposed at that? Like when you started, you don't have to answer this or not, it's all what good. Age you start juking and really out there and learning the game in the streets?
Well, I've been seeing and watching this all my life, pretty much from knee high, since I came out my mama womb. But I didn't actually get interacted with it. I didn't start doing it physically, until I was like 12 years old. Like I said, I started at 12,
And everybody was doing it.
Everybody right here, Bellhaven, right here, right here in the back of Miller. I went to Bellhaven, 5th grade and 6th grade. But I was always at my family house that stayed in the village over here. My mom's brother, Felici Tuipolotu, and that was like the party house. Everybody come there, and I was seeing my older uncles like Pomale. Pomale and them was out here juking, he had it big back then. Those were the guys, Tiki Tamoy Peao, who else? Just a lot. I don't want to start putting names in there, but everybody knows, what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be Big Dicky. Big Richard, you know what I'm saying? He took care of everybody. I see him coming out here with the limousine. He was the only big dude coming out here with the limousine, bone white interior in the limousine, hanging out the top, with champagne bottles, for real.
Damn.
He was doing it. He was like the big celebrity out here, man. Doing it before any other Tongans out here, man. So growing up and seeing that, and then watching my other partners in the town too as well. My older OG partners. I don't want to bring all that up. But anyways, it was just, I started like at 12, really getting in, gritting and grinding on the blacktop. Had my first deuce pistol for protection. You know what I'm saying?
You started with the deuce
the deuce to the deuce 5 to the 32 to the 38 to the 45 and up. That's exactly the order it went in, man. Just based on growing up, man. As you got older, your pistols and your choppers got bigger. You know what I'm saying? It's like you wise up, like, okay, this little thing ain't gonna work today. They got 100-round drums out here, man. So I gotta get updated. I gotta hit up the man who got them things, man, them bigger things.
So growing up in the hood, we so used to dealing with our problems with violence. What kind of conflict resolution techniques have you learned over the years?
I would say communication is a big thing. If there's no communicating within the warfare of the two parties that are going at it, man, they can never be anything figured out. There can never be peace. There will never be a peace treaty without communication. Communication is a big factor within these streets out here, especially when it comes to civil war out here in these streets. I'm not talking about the American Civil War. I'm talking about the street civil wars that's been going on for many moons and many centuries within every city out here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So communication is the best link that you want to tap in with and get synced in with, to ease the pain, or more or less, you know what I mean, by understanding what the individuals are going through. Why they are arguing, what the fuss is about, why are we killing each other? So I would say communication, man, is the best factor in that scenario there.
That's a perfect answer. I asked that, right? My boy from the Ville hit me up a couple years ago. It's like, L's over here on the blacktop throwing hands.
Oh, God. Okay.
I was like, if this nigga don't go back home and stop doing it, he's still in the streets, you feel me?
Man, you just took me back, bro. At times, you get so frustrated to a point where the communication line goes right out the door, right through one ear and out the other. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that. It's normal. We're human.
We Tongan.
We're not perfect. Yeah, we Tongan. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, man. You know, Jesus even said in the Bible, nobody's perfect, man. Just come unto me and be faithful and be loyal and do as I do and turn the other cheek. But that day I couldn't turn the other cheek.
It's all good. I mean,
but I grew from that.
Yeah.
You know, and I learned from that, man. You know, it was experience that I learned, and it was good to know that later on down the line, me and that individual talked about that and communicated, and you know, it was good. This little he say she say stuff and instigating, lingering in the background, but I don't pay no attention to that. As long as I talk to that individual personally, you know, he felt sincere to me at the time, you know. So I'm gonna take it as it is and just roll with the punches.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Greatest rapper to ever live.
Man, hands down, I gotta say Pac, man. Tupac Shakur, man. Just based on because he carried on. A lot of people don't know about Tupac Shakur's name. That was a Mayan Inca king warrior back in the days that stood here and fought the revolution when the conquistadors came down, when the Spain came down and invaded South America, North America, even with the acquisition with the popes, you know, killing the most people in the world, you know, and all this other stuff. But Pac was hands down. Pac hands down. Yeah, he was. I loved his vibe. He was very revolutionary, and always teaching good faith within people. Kind of slipped here and there. You know, everybody slips here and there and falls back on bad behavior and tampers with a little bit of
what
devilish
I kinda,
shit. But you know,
that's what perfect. I kind of had trouble with when I seen Pac. He had two sides of him. He had that good side.
That's that Gemini side, man.
He had that Black Panther side. You feel me? That he was raised with his mom.
Absolutely.
And then when Death Row came out, that's when
he had the other side. But I think his true essence came back after the All Eyes on Me album. That Machiavelli album was hard.
Yeah.
You know, that was a revolutionary album of the millennium, I would say. And a lot of people don't speak on that album, man. You know, he passed away over. I don't even want to talk about that either. You know, that's not my business. Yeah, it is my business. You know what? Hell yeah. You know, there's a lot of shady niggas around him during that time, man, that he could have been easily saved.
Yeah.
You know, he could have been easily saved, man. That's all I got to say, man. He didn't have the exact right people in his corner that really cared for him like that. They were too much into the scenery, the fabulous lifestyle, and wasn't really focusing on the outside people watching them, like plotting on their bag, plotting on their stash. And it wasn't just street niggas. It was lawyers.
Exactly.
It was lawyers. It was polices. It was FBI undercover agents within Death Row Records. That was infiltrating back and forth. It was a lot of infiltration. That y'all gotta watch out for that COINTEL. Everybody know about the COINTEL and the bowleg niggas out there. I'm talking about them cooning niggas. You know, them cooning niggas, man. You already know what that is, man. Uncle Tom, read that movie about Uncle Tom in the cabin. Read that book about that. You understand what I'm talking about. Niggas stop cooning. You know, stick up for your own peoples and look after your own peoples and don't sell out for a bag. Don't put a tattoo on your face for a bag.
Right.
You know, and it's
I see a lot of that.
It's a lot. I mean, because it's a trademark from the higher elite people that's up top that is doing this to our generation. I mean, us as Polynesians, that's normal. It's our tradition to go get our face tatted. Tribal tats. Not a face with
some
George Washington right here. Who the dude? The blue rapper, the blue face? He ain't got George Washington on his right cheek. So that tell you automatically, he did it for a bag.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's some
that shit don't make stupid. No, I mean this you can see right through that shit, man. It's like what these guys, they got tears back then when we did teardrops on that shit. That's because you body bag somebody. Everybody, they got 100 teardrops over here. Man, stop lying. You ain't body bag nobody.
It's like it's all fake. It's all I see it as all fake. You know,
it's a fake trends that's going around that's controlled by the higher upper elite. That's what it is. It's to confuse our peoples, to make us less of a human, to lessen up our spirituality. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. I mean, I even got caught up in that shit, you know?
Yeah.
not no tattoos on my face. I wouldn't do that. You know, scaring my grandchildren when they born. Come on, man. That's the first thing you got to think about. I'm gonna put this tattoo on my face. My grandchildren come around and he gonna look at me crazy like this. Oh, he a real clown. Is that? Did you bring him from the circus? You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's like common sense. Like before you put something on your face, like, come on, man. They saying it's to represent some. If it's to represent something, put it on a piece of paper, man. Put it in your raps. Put it on a video. Put it on a picture. Draw it.
They don't even do that nowadays.
Yeah, because it's a bot out society. They cooning. This is what I'm going back to the word cooning. These niggas is cooning, man. They selling out their own kind and they soul and they tradition and culture and heritage for a bag.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man.
They losing their soul, to be honest.
That's what it is. They pretty much sold to the devil. You know, I'm not somebody perfect, but at least I'm understanding it, witnessing it, going through the motions, experiencing it at hand, so that way I can better myself down the line. And I want every individual, I want every poly out there, man, that got caught up in you know, with the cooning in the bag to wake up, man.
Yeah. You're very self-aware. Yeah, that's what I noticed throughout all the years.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, Rogue.
My last question is, what's one of the greatest obstacles you had to overcome in your life? And what advice would you give us when we going through our trials and tribulations? Hey, get out the way. Damn.
It's a, you know, the best piece of advice that I can leave with you guys all out there, man, is to better yourself, is to read more. You know, history is going to repeat itself because of lack of knowledge.
Heard that.
And because the lack of knowledge is why we're not spiritually focused on what we really want in life.
Amen.
You know, everybody is lazy. I mean, that's why lawyers write so much and judges write so much shit. So you can't so
understand.
tired, you're like, man, I'm tired. I'm trying to get a taco or a hot dog right now. Man, just sign the goddamn paper and get on. Little do you know, you giving yourself more time. You know, you're giving them the opportunity, and you're giving them the satisfaction to let them know that they got over you. So lack of knowledge, read more, better yourself, man.
Yeah.
Eat healthy, watch your dietary. You know, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Dr. Sabi out there. Like I've been telling everybody before, Nipsey Hussle even talked about Dr. Sabi, about the healing process. You know, they killed that old man, and he was a great dude. He was the first holistic doctor that cured AIDS, leukemia, cancer, and all kind of sickle cells and all other.
I gotta read up on him.
Yeah, you gotta read up on it. And then he not only did they arrested him, they kicked down his doors, the FDA, and arrested him because he didn't have a medicine license plaque on his wall, right?
What?
Okay, but he wasn't. And then when he went to court, the judge told him, "I'm gonna give you this amount of much time if you don't bring these whoever with AIDS, leukemia, and cancer, and show me documented that you cured them." And he brought them in. It's documented in facts. It's documented. He walked into the New York court, Supreme Court, and brought in his patients that he cured. When they were out here, and he had the documentations from the hospitalization to where they diagnosed his patients with AIDS, leukemia, and all that. And then he came back. He had the actual documentations out here in the United States with their diseases that they caught, and he cured them. You know,
so he beat the case.
He beat the case.
He beat the case.
So I don't understand why nobody talking about this. Why ain't nobody talking about this, man?
Damn.
This is what I'm talking about. They're hiding because the biggest drug dealers in the world are the pharmaceutical niggas, giving you all these chemical medicines that's really tearing your ass up. That's really aging your ass. And the reason why he beat it too, excuse me, sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. The reason why he beat it because he didn't practice for medicine, chemicals. He was a practitioner for holistic herbs, roots, just like the kava that we drink from the roots from the trees and all that other good source, you know. That's why they burning down the Amazon right now, because they don't want you to get to the true source of herbalistic cures. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He had the antidote. He had the cure.
And that's why they have the opioid epidemic right now.
Yeah.
That's why all these soccer moms is
exactly. You got doctors, lawyers, judges, nurses, teachers on the highest level of degree that you can possibly think of with I'm talking about master degrees, PhDs that are on that shit, and you don't even know that shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And you got doctors out here prescribing that shit, man. Like it's nothing. They had the other doctor just prescribed over 80,000 pills. Oh God, I mean, it's so out of hand. It's so out of hand like that. But you know, when the copper colored people do it on a lesser scale, oh, here are you drug dealer. We got to arrest you right now. You're going to jail, and you're going to do this amount of time if you don't give us your plug or your connect. And then they go, you know, take their shit and sell their shit to. But all I'm saying is, the pharmaceutical. The big pharma are the biggest drug dealers in the world, man. They can't say it. They can't say not. They can't say it. They can't say they aren't, man. It's proven. It's facts. But people look beyond that because they run to the pharmaceutical people to cure them. Because of lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge, because you listen to what everybody tell you in school, in college. This is how it is. The doctors are here to cure you. The doctors are here. That's a goddamn lie.
Yeah.
And then everybody's looking at me and the rest of my peoples and Nipsey and everybody else like we crazy. You got to be out your goddamn mind. You know, but we've studied, we've researched, we've learned, and we read, not just from regular books nowadays. You got to take it back to the Vatican archive books, the Britannica books, you know, the papacy scrolls from back in the days, and you know, from hieroglyphs to petroglyphs. This is where we're taking it back and learning from the actual scribes. You know, because a lot of the shit that's out right now has been misled, transformed, you know, just lied about, man, to take advantage of everybody out here, the masses. That's all I got to say. So my best piece of advice to leave to you is read. Read as much as you can.
Yeah, I think people need to take advantage of their phone instead of going on Facebook and all this other stuff. You got the whole world on your phone, and yet you can't read a little piece, man. I would like to thank L for sliding through.
Off top, it's good, bro.
Love you, man.
Love you too, man.
I'll see you on the next one. Culture in the Rough. We out.
We out.